So next, you actually missed a couple of those games because
I missed
you went to
quite a
Disney.
few of those games. Reason
Yes.
being I missed a few of those games is actually right after that miserable, crappy loss against Dallas. Me and my wife got into the car with the two kids, and we drove down to Florida. So prior to COVID-19 hitting, we had a vacation planned out. It was going to be us. I was going to take my mom for the first time. She had never been on a real vacation. She was going to go to Disney World. We were going to go with some friends who happened to be going at the same time. We were all going to have fun, la-di-da-da, have fun. COVID hit literally like 2 weeks before. 2 weeks after is when we were going to go, is when everything got canceled. When, like Zeno likes to point out, he pointed out in his interview with Graham, we decided we did a 14-day quarantine and gave up 7 days in. The country did. So we went down to Disney. So we had to make up the tickets because it was like, do it now or you'd have to do it sometime before December. I was like, I don't want to do it before December. I just want to let's knock it out now. So it raised one question for me right prior to doing it. One of the questions that I had, and I kind of posted this to Zeno, and he's already given me his answer, which I respect, which my question was, am I wrong for the fact that I want to curb this pandemic so badly, right? I really do. I want it to curb. I want us to return back to normal. I wish we had a president and a leader who actually took it serious, but doesn't. So am I wrong for the fact that I decided, you know what, screw it. I have Disney tickets that are about to run out. Let me go down there and go to Disney, right? Zeno had told me that he's gone to the movies a few times, and there was some social distancing, right?
I've been to the movies one time.
Oh, my apologies. Now, quick question can I ask you? Because I know that Disney, you have to do this. Did you have to have a face mask in the theater?
Actually, no. So I had one just as a matter of course because I just do. When I was going to like purchase the tickets, when I was going to talk to the attendants for the popcorn thing. So the way this particular movie theater works is you didn't actually talk to someone to purchase the ticket. You go to a kiosk to purchase it, and also you go to a kiosk to purchase your popcorn and your drinks and stuff. So you never really interact with someone unless you really have to. Yeah, and then they come and they bring your popcorn to you like in a face mask. Apparently they missed my popcorn order because we were there for like 30 minutes and no one came. So I went to the popcorn place, but I had my mask on because. Thank you. Whatever, man. So I went to the concessions to get my popcorn, and I had my mask on, and I showed them that, hey, I bought this and that. So then they're like, okay, we'll bring your popcorn to you, and then so they did. But yeah, the point is, I didn't really interact with that many people, and when I did, I had the mask.
All right. So I mean, I felt kind of, I guess you could say at the beginning, a little bit guilty about doing it, but then, like I said, my wife's a nurse, and my wife also said, is like, look, it's starting to go down, right, based off of her experience, but she's also like, at the end of the day, fortunately, this is the normal that we're dealing with, so you really can't stop living your life and just take precautions to do things. So there's a little bit of I guess, guilt involved in that, but I wasn't guilty when I was having fun with my kids. That's for damn sure. But it's just kind of one of those things where, like, beforehand, you're kind of like, man, should I really do it? Like, I don't go to restaurants because of this. I try not to go to sit-down restaurants because of this crap, but sometimes you want to go out, and you do. And, like, basically what I'm trying to say is if you're doing as many, like, if only the whole entire country was trying to take as many precautions as possible, it would be a lot easier to do this kind of stuff, but it's not, right? So the reason I wanted to talk about my Disney trip is because when we were in Disney, the one thing that I noticed was that you had a city full of people, because Disney is a city in and of itself, right? You had a city full of people, and everybody was following the mandates, right? Everybody was social distancing. So what they do now is if you're in line, they have tapes that are 6 feet apart, and then how sometimes there's like this kind of line, like where there's a barrier between here and you're going this way. You know what I mean? Like you go around.
Yeah.
They had one here and say here, and then they would have the other one over here. So even then you're 6 feet apart from each other, right? Like even though there's a barrier in between you, right? Because the barrier doesn't have a face guard, right? So it was just like The thing that I noticed off of this was that when you have the incentive to do it, you'll do it. So obviously people are going to Disney. I saw Trump 2020 face masks and shirts. So obviously there's people who like, oh, this is a hoax. What do they call it? The pandemic, you know? So what all this did show to me was that if you have an incentive to do it, you'll do it. And that's the issue that we have here, is that the country, the president, the leaders, they don't put the incentive on the people to be like, look, we need to do it. We need to follow these rules. We need to follow this policy, right? Do this face mask. Because the thing is, all I saw was thousands and thousands of people following the rules because they wanted to be at the most magical place in the world, right? So it's just something that just kind of got into the back of my mind when I was there. It's just something that I realized, like, I was like Zeno said, we took a 14-day quarantine, gave up 7 days in because we thought it was because, and by we, I don't mean me and him. I mean like certain Americans who.
We basically said that, look, I'm tired.
Yeah.
7 days is basically 14.
That's that new core math. So it was just like, it's just something that just did bug me when I was doing it, because, you know, in between going get gas, I put on my face mask, go in, get my gas, everybody's wearing the face mask, you know. Of course, I ended up seeing a maggot, you know, talking about BLM's racist, you know, they were talking about, and you could tell that the person at Subway was just like, dude, shut the fuck up and get me what do you want? Like, stop bugging, you know what I mean? Like, so you'll have people who don't like it, who don't want to do it, but at the end of the day, it's just like, tough it up and just do it, because guess what? If you do it, we could be like other countries that have basically carved the hell out of this. And at this point, they banned us because we're not doing what we're doing. It's kind of like somebody, I don't know if you follow a guy, Carlton, on Twitter. He talks a lot about, he's a Falcons fan. So he talks about, and then one thing that he did post on there one time that I thought was hilarious was he said, America demanding to reopen like they actually did something is the most American thing. And that's basically what we did. We demanded to reopen, acting like we actually sacrificed to reopen. So Disney basically showed me that we could do it if we had the incentive, and it's up to the leaders to do it. But anyways, that's just a little soapbox that I wanted to get on, just because that really did not bug me, but it's just something that hit me while I was there. And by the way, Disney was fun shit.
Okay. I wanted to say a couple of things about what you said. First of all, I personally don't think that we should be incentivizing adults in order for them to do the right thing. I think just be a
grown ass man or a grown ass woman.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like, hey, you get a cookie if you do this. Do it. But
hey, you get a cure to the pandemic if you do the right thing.
Right. No, but then the problem is, then they've been told, oh, you're not at risk because you're 30 years old or whatever, so you'll be fine. But they're not telling them, yeah, but you can put other people at risk. And even when they do tell them, they're like, but I'm not at risk, so why do I care? But that's one of the failings of leadership that we had during this pandemic, where they were like, we trust the people to make the right decisions. I'm like, have you met your people? I mean, what do you mean you trust them to make the right decisions? They will always make the decision that they feel suits them the most, the thing that's least inconvenient to them, not the right decision. Put some people like, don't mandate stuff because it's like infringing on rights. A seatbelt is infringing on my right. I'd like to be free when I drive, but I'd also like to be safe. I'd also like to not fly out of my windshield if I happen to crash. So there's certain things, there's certain gives and takes that as adults we're supposed to do. And sometimes you need the government to mandate it, because you can't trust adults to act like adults all the time. So anyway, that's just my little addendum to your soapbox.
The more you know.
Yes.